Hey everyone, and welcome to this edition of Stream On Live. Here we are to talk TV with you today, and hope that you all have got your questions ready to rock and roll, because we definitely have a lot to chat about. And let's start with the headlines, okay? And we got comments in there. Do me a favor, please subscribe, hit the bell, and like us. That would be greatly appreciated. Meanwhile, what's going on in television? John Oliver responded to Ron DeSantis, who called him irrelevant. The first thing he said was, I agree with that. So John Oliver, who has an outstanding show on HBO, it's called, Last Week Tonight. He's been criticizing Governor DeSantis quite a bit. And so their feud, I believe, is simply starting. This is not an end. This is the feud. Oliver has, referred to the governor as a business Fred Flintstone. Donald Trump's nickname, of course, is Meatball Ron for him. So Oliver and DeSantis are getting off to a good start. Judy Greer, who, most of us know she's a very funny, very funny young woman and actress. She is on the ABC comedy Drop Off, and they've added her now to the cast opposite Ellie Klemper. It's really a very fun thing. It's a single camera project, which is based on the BAFTA-winning BBC series Motherland. She's going to be playing an alpha mom whose nemesis is Kemper, and the character on Drop Off. It's produced by Lionsgate. It airs on ABC. We should expect to see her sometime in, I would say, probably May, because we're almost finished with the ratings period for February. So we'll probably see Judy Greer early in May on the ABC comedy Drop Off. Christina Ricci reveals a specific change for her character in Yellow Jackets season 2. She's aware of the fandom around Yellow Jackets. During a visit to the Late Show with Stephen Colbert, Ricci admitted that she and her co-star on the hit Showtime series, felt the pressure of filming every 2 weeks and also getting season premiere out by March 24th. So everybody was terrified, but she feels very strongly that this is really going to be a good season for her second season of Yellow Jackets on Showtime. Meanwhile, Euphoria, House of Dragon, and White Lotus are among the nominees for the BAFTA Rookie of the Year award. That should be a fascinating. White Lotus was very well received. Euphoria was well received. So we should see how that comes out. China's Lemon Pictures launches an ambitious international slate. It's a Shanghai-based company, and they're preparing to go with a few major Chinese TV studios in a venture that will bring Chinese television to streaming services here in the United States. Meanwhile, Singapore, Taiwan has entered into a series where they're going to take some of the best-selling books, Tales of Mystery, and basically make them into TV in Singapore. So that's coming up. President Joe Biden says the younger generation helped create political space for change in a Daily Show interview with guest host Kal Penn. So you may want to check that out tonight. President Joe Biden on the Daily Show with their guest host Kal Penn. The ratings for the Oscars, which were hosted by Jimmy Kimmel on ABC, the Oscars grew a TV audience for the second consecutive year, scoring its highest rating since 2020. Sunday's broadcast of the 95th Oscars averaged 18.76 million viewers, and received a 4.03 rating, which is among the 18 to 49 age bracket, according to ABC. Time zone adjusted so that you get the fast national ratings, and that's where the numbers are coming. There will be probably some streaming numbers and others that will be added to it. So at the end of the day, we're talking about probably 19 million whenever the dust clears. So that's a good rating for the Oscars. They've had some tough times over the past couple of years. South by Southwest, which of course is a very popular season down in Texas, and they're basically going to talk about a lot of artificial intelligence at South by Southwest in Austin, and that might be something of interest if you're in that area. The Last of Us passes House of Dragons in full season viewership. That's kind of a bit of a surprise. In the first season of Last of Us, which is on HBO, they were able to pass House of Dragons, another HBO series, which of course was produced by the people who brought you HBO's outstanding long-serving series, which Game of Thrones, which everybody enjoyed very much. Meanwhile, Oscar producer Glenn Weiss, talking about Lady Gaga's vision for Meaningful, was a performance that he thought was outstanding. So Glenn Weiss, as I said before, after the 95th Academy Awards telecast, said that he was very impressed by what Lady Gaga's vision was in her performance on Meaningful. In an unusual move, CNN taps 2 morning producers to help revive their morning show. And so basically what they decided to do is it's anchored by Don Lemon, Caitlin Collins, and Poppy Harlow, the 2 former executive producers from CNN are veteran Lauren Mesh and Chris Russell, who basically are in there to be show doctors and clean that tidy program up. TV giants, all 3 media signed an exclusive lookalike deal with Doc's specialist Roast Beef, and that's kind of an interesting partnership. Roast Beef Productions is a UK production company that mainly produces documentaries, and most of it's seen here in the United States on BritBox. This Oscar and BAFTA nominated team, I think you're going to do quite well here in the States. So that's good to keep an eye out for. BBC reinstated Gary Lineker as the TV soccer host after broadcasting no games over the weekend. And so we'll see how that goes. I think everybody thought that Gary Lineker should not have been taken off the air for a tweet that he that was considered detrimental to the government at the time. And so he was taken off, and his colleagues decided they were going to, in protest, they were not going to do the games at that point. So that's some of the headlines. What are you guys watching on TV today? Anybody out there that, okay, Night Court. Okay, cool. Night Court is a good show. Personally, I think that it's John Larroquette at his best, and that's Melissa Rauch, of course, from Big Bang. We all know her, but at the end of the day, I think that show basically revolves around how well John Larroquette can keep things moving, because the cast beyond he and Melissa Rauch are a little soft, but this is the first year. You never know how they're going to move on, and NBC definitely is going to bring back for a second year, so that should be interesting. Let's talk a little bit about sports this week. Let's talk first about the regional sports networks. Bally's and AT&T are either going to file for bankruptcy or you're in bankruptcy court, which leaves many fans wondering, where's my baseball coming this baseball season? Major League Baseball has made a commitment to produce and direct and air all of the games on all of the Bally's and all the AT&T platforms, okay? So you're not going to lose your baseball. You're not going to lose your basketball. You're not going to lose your hockey. But what happens in those contracts is that after a certain period of time, let's say 90 days, depends on the contract, let's say 90 days is pretty standard. If they're not paid within 90 days, meaning if Bally's does not pay, for instance, we'll use the Florida Marlins. If they don't pay the Florida Marlins in 90 days, then the Marlins retain their television rights. Okay, so it leaves Bally's, and they can go out and be a free agent and negotiate with whomever they wish. Well, then there's right now there's nobody to negotiate with. Major League Baseball will accept that, and what they will do is then deal with the team, Bally's or whatever. They'll produce they'll air on Bally's, and that way the games, whether it's NBA, Major League Baseball, or hockey, will continue, but they'll be owned by the team and also the league. So at the end of the day, we're probably looking very close to what the MLS now has with Apple TV Plus, and that's, for all intents and purposes, a direct-to-consumer model. Meaning, if you want a season ticket to watch your favorite baseball team, rather than worried about cable or however you've gotten in the past, you probably stream it, and it'll probably be on local cable for your local team. So keep a lookout for that. It shouldn't affect baseball for this season, but that's something, the direct-to-consumer concept, which is what the MLS has done, is probably the most likely way to go as we move forward. Tonight on truTV and tomorrow night on truTV is the first four. Those are the games that will be played by the teams that are, at this point in time, in the NCAA. So we all like March Madness. You only have a few hours to fill out your pool. So by all means, I think it's a good opportunity to do that and get that taken care of, because the real stuff starts on Thursday and Friday. So 2 games tonight and 2 games tomorrow night on truTV. Now, if you're streaming, and what's your best bet? My suggestion would be to get a subscription to Sling TV. They're going to have all the games on from what used to be Turner, which is now Warner Brothers Discovery Network, and so that's what we'll have to look forward to there. And as for the situation with regard to CBS, well, obviously you can either watch it over the air if you have the capability of an antenna. If you don't, well then sign up for Paramount Plus. So at the very least, you have a month of Sling and a month of Paramount Plus, and it's not a bad deal. So take advantage of those 2 situations, and I think you'll be happy with regard to March Madness, which is coming up. Jim Nance, friend of the podcast here, Jimmy will be doing his last NCAA tournament. He, after 32 years as the voice of basketball on CBS, he's giving that up to Ian Eagle. He will stay with the network and continue to do golf and football. So good on Jim. He's been a fantastic broadcaster and a good friend. So by all means, we wish him well. This is, of course, he was born in New Orleans, but lived a lot of his life in Houston, and went to the University of Houston, where he played golf with Freddie Couples. So they were golf buddies on the University of Houston's golf team. So it's kind of, come full circle, because he will come in and he will definitely be involved in what goes on in golf and in the NFL, but he's going to leave Ian Eagle to take care of the duties. It's always a lot of fun watching the NCAA tournament with what used to, as they say, used to be Turner's now, Warner Brothers and Discovery, because they have a really fun team. You've got Greg Gumbel, you've got Clark Kellogg, you've got Charles Barkley, you've got Shaquille O'Neal, you got Kenny Jet, you got Kevin Harlan, you got all the really good guys from TNT, and of course all the great guys like Greg Gumbel and Kellogg and Jimmy and all the guys from CBS. That makes this a lot of fun. It's a good pairing. So that's coming up starting tonight on True TV for tonight and tomorrow. And then it flips over to CBS, TNT, TBS, and True TV on Thursday and Friday. So there you go with that. So without any further questions, we hope that you have a great day. If you need any information, in the show box below, you have the opportunity to me. Appreciate everybody showing up today, and we will be back again tomorrow, same time, 1:30. For myself, Jim Williams, we appreciate you here today. We'll see you.